Hey, today we've got a little nutrition talk here with Coach Myron. This is going to be for both health and FIAD classes. Want to make sure everybody gets this information. This will be tested, so make sure that you're taking some notes on what you hear today. And we want to clear up a few things and try to paint a little bit of a picture as far as what you should be looking at when you go to pick out food at certain times of the day, things like that. Now, I don't want to tell anybody what to eat or how to eat, but I want to tell you what has worked for me and a lot of other people that I've trained with over the past couple decades. Keeping a healthy body, keeping a fitness plan, a nutrition plan, sleeping right, all these things add to the quality of life that you can experience. And they're important for me to share with you because I want you guys to have the best life possible. I want you to be the dad and the mom that you're capable of someday, where you're raising kids and your kids are happy and you feel good about yourself. You've got a job that you like. You're able to have the energy to hang out with your friends, to participate in activities that you enjoy, to take your dog for a walk. All those things start with just knowing a little bit about your body and knowing how to treat it. So a couple things today. First off, proteins, fats, carbs. Okay, three things that we talk about a lot. You might hear, hey, do you count your macros? It's a term that's thrown around. Your macronutrients, your proteins, your fats, and your carbs. Okay, here's first a few things. Before a workout, let's say that you're about to do a FIAD workout and it's a really intense Metcon, it's a 20-minute workout. You don't want to eat right before your workout, okay? Because it's going to be in your stomach, your body's going to be trying to break it down. It's going to make you feel a little sluggish. It's maybe a little bloated even. You're not going to feel that good. So you don't want to eat right before a workout. You want to eat roughly an hour to 2 hours before your workout. That usually gives people enough time to digest the food and to feel good for the workout, okay? If you don't eat before you work out, that's called fasted training. And in that case, some people really enjoy that. They like working out on a completely empty stomach. You kind of have to feel what's best for you. I personally like to eat before I work out, and I'll usually eat about 2 hours out. Okay, so before the workout starts, it's very important to eat. I want to have a supply of carbohydrates, and that's giving me my energy. Okay, so I wrote down a couple notes here that I want to make sure I talk about. Your carbs aren't something to be scared of. All right, everything in moderation is a phrase that's thrown around loosely, but in all seriousness, we need carbs. We are people that, unless you're on the ketogenic diet, you're somebody that needs carbohydrates. Okay, that's your primary source of fuel. So you need carbs. Where can you get carbs from? Fruits, vegetables, things like that. If you think about like your breads and your pastas, you're going to be getting carbohydrates from those as well. I want you to eat as many fruits and vegetables as possible. It's a pretty clean way to bring in some good nutrients, okay, on a macro level. And if you think about things that maybe affect you adversely, you know that if I eat a bunch of candy, I feel sluggish, things like that. You got to make some decisions on what's important to you. I like a lot of oatmeal. I'll eat a lot of oatmeal from my carbohydrate sources. Like I said, a lot of fruits and vegetables. I'll do those kind of things all the time. I'll eat protein pancakes. I like that because it's got a good mix of proteins with my carbohydrates. So thinking about carbohydrates, thinking about fuel, okay? When you think about protein, you're thinking about build and recover, all right? So a lot of people say, hey, I'm good to go, I'm ready to work out, I had a protein shake. Well, maybe your protein shake didn't have any carbohydrates in it, right? And it just has protein. It's something that would be beneficial probably more after your workout, okay? Because again, the purpose of protein is to, when we work out, we break our muscle down, we tear our muscle fibers apart, we do all this tissue damage. When we put protein in our body, that helps us to start the repair and the restore and the recover process. So protein is to build and to repair, okay? Carbohydrates are to fuel. When you think about sources of protein, you're thinking about lean meats. A lot of people will think about like chicken and tuna, milks, cheeses are gonna have proteins in them. You're thinking about nuts and seeds will have protein. So you gotta find things that work for your body. It might have to be through some testing that you discover this. So thinking about eggs, yogurts, stuff like that. So start to explore, start to look around. You can do some Google searches. You can start to look at labels in your kitchen too, and just look at the content as far as how much protein, how much carbohydrates, how many things they have per serving. Okay, it's important to look at the serving size. So for example, if you eat peanut butter, like I do sometimes out of the jar, spoonful after spoonful, I might eat 4 servings of peanut butter. All right, and so I can't look at the jar and just look at the amount of proteins, carbohydrates, and fats for 1 serving because I just had 4. So we have to be smart about that. So what I'll do sometimes to control my portions is I'll use a small plate instead of a big plate. I'll actually measure everything out so I know exactly what I'm putting into my body. Okay, it seems like a lot of work, and it is for a while, but after you get used to things, you'll kind of know what serving sizes look like. You'll kind of know what your body responds to the best, and it starts to really pay off for you as you can control the way you feel, the way your body acts, things like that. Okay, and then fats. So fats, we're thinking about organ function. We're thinking about having healthy hair, skin, nails, stuff like that. But we need a good amount of healthy fats in our routine. Okay, if you're on the ketogenic diet, again, that's a diet that's driven on burning fat for energy. You're going to need a lot more fat if you are on that particular diet. So I'm speaking to most everybody else. We're generally in that like 50 to 70 grams of fats per day. Okay, that's a pretty solid range. If you do some internet research, if you talk to some people, we kind of have to find that healthy range where most of it's coming from the mono and the trans unsaturated fats, or sorry, mono and poly unsaturated fats. So if you look at like nuts and seeds, great sources of some healthy fats right there. The saturated fats and the trans fats are things we want less of. So again, if you're looking for good choices, you're looking at like avocados, like I mentioned, the nuts and the seeds. You're going to get some fats through your meats, most likely, but you're trying to kind of limit that. You don't want too much, you don't want too little. It's very important to get fat in your diet because we need that for, again, organ function. Okay, but looking carefully into the sources. Where is it coming from? If it's coming from fast food, probably not a good option or a good source of fat. If it's coming from something that was grown from the earth, probably a lot better source of fat. Okay, you're thinking about proteins, fats, and carbs again as your macronutrients. Another term thrown around every once in a while is micronutrients. Now you're thinking about your vitamins and minerals. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on this video today. I want to keep it under 10 minutes, but look into micronutrients as well. These would be things like iron and riboflavin and potassium and magnesium, all these different types of vitamins and minerals that you need. We'll maybe do another video on those down the road. But specifically today, when you look at your macros, there's another term I want you to look up, and it's your BMR, basal metabolic rate. This is essentially how many calories you burn per day just by being alive. So if you wake up and you just watch Netflix all day and you stay in your bed, you're still burning calories, right? Your body's still in that metabolic state where you're burning fuel, right? And it might be 1,300 calories a day for you. It might be 1,700 calories for you. For me, it's about 2,400 calories. There's calculators out on the internet you can look up. You type in your height, your weight, different things like that, your activity level. It's going to give you a decent estimate. There's scales that you can actually go step on, and you put your hands on some handles that will send electrodes through your body. You'll get a reading that's a lot more accurate there. But that's your BMR, your basal metabolic rate. Let's say that we have somebody that's an athlete and it's just a chill day for them. They burn 2,000 calories a day, let's say. Okay, that's their BMR. They need at least 2,000 calories on that day just to have their body maintain. Okay. Now, let's say that they're actually up and doing stuff. They're moving, they're burning another 800 calories. That would put their daily total up to 2,800 calories. Okay. So if they wanted to actually try to lose some weight, they're going to need to be in a deficit. They need to have taken fewer calories than they're using up. So something like 2,600, 2,500. They might be able to try that for a while and see if that works for them. They don't want to go below that 2,000 because then they're starting to starve their body. And a lot of times that's detrimental. You're not getting enough nutrients to keep your metabolism functioning properly and to be running quickly for you. Okay. So we want to make sure that you're somewhere below your total, but not below your BMR. Hopefully that makes sense to you. If not, you can send me an email. Let me know if you have questions on that. But I want you to look up your BMR and just get an idea of what that is. I want you to start looking at some labels, see what you're taking in, and thinking about this. 1 gram of protein is 1 gram of protein has 4 calories in it. 1 gram of carbohydrates, 4 calories, and then 1 gram of fat has 9 calories. Okay, so also starting to look at that on your labels too, and just kind of seeing where you're at with things. If you were to look at your total, need for the day, you're gonna have a pretty well balanced amount of calories coming from proteins, fats, and carbs for most people. Sometimes you'll hear 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight that you weigh for athletes. So if I'm a 200-pound guy, I need 200 grams of protein. I find that to be a little bit too much, but that's just me. I'm more like 100 to 150 grams of protein per day, and I tend to keep my body weight kind of where I want it, so it works for me. Carbohydrate-wise, I will determine that based on how active I am for the day. So if I'm doing a workout or two, I'll be taking in more carbohydrates. If it's a rest day or a relaxation day or recovery day, I'll have a little bit less carbohydrates. Fats are always pretty similar for me in that 50 to 70 grams range per day. So it does take some dedication, some work to write these things down, to look at the labels, to kind of see where you're at if you want to make changes to what you're currently doing. And again, this shouldn't be determined based on how you look. For some people that that is important to them, but it should be more about, how do I feel? When I eat this food, how does this make me feel? When I take in this many calories, how do I feel? So we want you to feel amazing. We want you to feel awesome. We want you to know what works for you and what works for your body. If you're somebody that struggles with with gluten or with dairy, it's important to know these things and to limit these things, because again, this is about living your best life, giving you the best quality of existence possible, right? We're coming up on that 11-minute mark. Send me emails. Let me know that you receive this, you watch this, and there'll be more to follow. But here's your first look at nutrition for 10th grade health, and for 9th and 10th grade Phi Ed for us this year. Coach Myron signing off. Have a great rest of your day.